Does anyone know the name of the officer who the only person who killed anybody? Ashley Babbitt?
No.
Nope.
And by the way, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that was. We don't even know if that was a bad shot.
I just want to know. I want an investigation that happened to tell us. Here's why it happened.
Right.
Like every other shooting that we've had to cover over the last 2 years.
Who shot who? I mean, do you really need a multi-million-dollar, or billion-dollar, trillion-dollar rounding error at this point to find out? Oh, one person shot somebody. Who? If you watch media, CNN, and they're just hysterically covering January 6th.
Some Republican lawmakers are following Trump's example, trying to rewrite what happened on January 6th. For instance, by calling the attackers, quote, peaceful patriots.
This morning, we are getting our first look at a new Senate report highlighting the significant security issues that unfolded before and during the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
You know, as an American, I went there to advocate for this commission,
for neck tats,
which I believe is necessary, really, to get to the root causes of January 6th.
Donald Trump's role in the riot. In fact, Senate Democrats even avoided using the word insurrection to describe the insurrection.
In some ways, some of those hard right extremists were emboldened by what happened January 6th, and they may be further emboldened by the acquittal. Had he been convicted, there could have been violence. But one thing that's different now that wasn't happening before January 6th is a massive, massive FBI investigation.
What they care about is taking away your vote and defending that big lie that I told you about, even now, even after everything we saw on January 6th, when Trump-supporting extremists, racists, stormed the seat of our government, incited by the then president.
Say the attack does not, at least for now, does not appear to be terrorism, and that Green was not known to U.S. Capitol Police. In a painful reminder of the January 6th attack,
on governance, when you give up on democratic accountability and responsibility for your actions, and you're the political wing of the right, what do you expect to happen to the unhinged part of the right?
Okay, really quickly, look at this right now on CNN. This just happens to be going on live.
Right now.
Right now. Lawyer, Ryder says, Ryder argues he felt threatened by hero officer Jensen's initial attraction to QAnon. So they're trying to associate it with QAnon. Look,
of course.
Let me be really clear. I'm sure there were some people there, of course, who were if you look, QAnon is idiotic to me. It was so proven verifiably false, okay?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with people who voted for Donald Trump and the hundreds of thousands of people who were there who were peaceful patriots. And certainly the people who Donald Trump identified as his supporters, saying, peacefully make your voices heard. And by the way, really quickly, if you have kids watching right now, I would advise you to probably have them leave the room, because we are going to show side by side the absolute worst footage from the January 6th riots, the worst possible footage, side by side with the Black Lives Matter riots and the Antifa riots. So I just want to warn you, it's not that we're trying to, but I don't think it's age appropriate. Not a trigger warning. Right. I just don't want 9-year-olds watching it because it disturbed me.
Absolutely.
They wanted a 9/11 style commission to investigate the January 6th riots. Republicans filibustered it.
Yeah.
So what they want to do it with a filibuster.
Yeah. All of a sudden,
or all of the things.
They were huge fans when 50-something%, I think it was 48% of them used it to block civil rights. Now it's like, wait, wait a second. You want to block a bias commission? Again, I think that you could have a deal. If we talk about bipartisan, guarantee Republicans would sign on to it if you say, also, same commission to Black Lives Matter, Antifa rights. It's a deal I'd take tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yep. And why do you think they're doing this, Stephen? There are multiple investigations that are ongoing right now. In fact, the report that they're citing was an investigation into what happened on January 6th.
So, and here's something you'll also never see, okay, Black Lives, before we get to the what you see, the destruction, and there was destruction on January 6th.
Yes.
Not anywhere near 1,333% less as of June 20th. But,
well, the people that got in were ants at a picnic, and I'll say.
Right, yes. Here's something but it is important to note. Most of the people were let in willingly. A lot of people don't know this because they'll never show you this. Now, this is, in other words, it's more so the equivalent to people who break through the gates at, like, you know, at a Led Zeppelin concert, at a Van Halen reunion, right? Because they're trying to get front seats. They're allowed in that venue, but so they were allowed in the venue of the Capitol. We need to be clear about that. Doesn't mean that once they're in there, they didn't then, of course, break the law.
Right.
But that's very different from, remember, anyone who lives in a city? Remember all the doors were barricaded? Wood panels over every single window? Very, very different from that. And all right, come on in, just, you know, don't get too rambunctious. So let me show you this. As a matter of fact, just as a perfect example, even, you'll watch this clip, even the QAnon shaman says, let's keep it peaceful. And you see a Capitol officer, I believe black,
yes,
say, hey, I don't agree with you, but I respect your right to do it. as they walk right past.
Wow.
Let me know if you've ever seen this before. Roll clip.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
As they're being waved on.
And they just breached the Capitol again.
ACAF, 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 ACAF.
Here's where the guy says it. Watch.
You can disagree with it, but respect it.
Respect it.
The insurrection had door guys and a metal detector. They got mushers.
And cooperate peacefully, like our First Amendment allows. Gather more Americans under the condition that they will come and gather peacefully to discuss what needs to be done to save our country.
Show us no attacking, no assault, remain calm.
We're not going to assault. We're going to be heard. Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This has to be peaceful. We have the right to peacefully assemble.
Now, is that just the guy's voice, or is he permanently doing a Grover voice in character?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a little bit of what was the trash can guy? Oscar.
A little bit of Oscar.
Yeah, a little bit of Oscar.
We have to peaceably assemble.
I want to be clear. So now this is the footage that I want to show you, because this is something that the media will not show you. Footage side by side here of the worst possible footage we can find from January 6th. This actually came from the House impeachment managers, just to be clear. I wanted to find the absolutely most severe footage of January 6th so you can see the worst of it and juxtapose that with just some footage from the riots that took place over the last year, because we couldn't fit it all in. And I just want you, and genuinely, the best thing you can, comment below. Look, people have blind spots. If I have a blind spot and we think that these are actually comparable and that the January 6th riots deserve 10 times the air coverage, some people have had estimates as high as 20 of these riots, let me know. Kids, leave the room. Here you go. January 6th, Summer of Love.
Zone. There's been yet another shooting early this morning.
Top security shot at those people in the Jeep after they ran into the barricades here.
So there's another group they're meeting with there, and then they'll be moving in a few minutes, so be ready.
Take the clip out and put it back in.
No one's gonna when you walk in here.
Thank you.
OG, come on, stay with me, OG. OG, stay with me. Stay with me, OG. Stay with me, OG. Come on, OG. Come on, OG.
For those of you who don't remember, that was Officer David Dorn, black man. I'm not saying that all officers are heroes, but certainly an off-duty one who showed up to help his community and stop someone else from being robbed. That was Officer David Dorn. For people who don't remember, because we have such short memories, that was a long-time police officer in Missouri, black man, his entire life, who created and ran programs to help underprivileged youth. And he showed up that night because a friend called whose shop was being torn down. I don't remember if it was being burned down and looted.
Looted, yeah.
And he was shot dead in the street. And there's a lot of that. There are a lot of deaths at the rallies over the summer.
Yeah.
And they're undercounted, but you're still looking at dozens. All sources available at louderwithcrowd.com. So Just one thing. Haven't seen it anywhere else. Yeah. You guys let me know. Hey, if I've got a blind spot, if January 6th is because statistically it's not.
No.
But if you feel it's worse in spirit, great. Okay.
Well, and you're not excusing the people that acted up at the insurrection.
No, we're condemning them.
Exactly.
If there's any ambiguity about our statements, if you broke the law on January 6th, you should be arrested, you should be tried, and if you were guilty, you should be convicted. Sorry.
And if you were committing arson and serious felonies over the course of this entire year, adding to the, $2 billion in damages just by June 2020, likely $4 billion now, you should also be arrested and not catch and release.
Yeah, and we were begging people over the summer. We were begging our leaders and politicians in these communities to say, hey, guys, stop what you're doing. Begging you. And you wouldn't even acknowledge that this was going on. You wouldn't even acknowledge that there were officers. That one in Chicago where the lady is being dragged by her hair into the mob to be beaten mercilessly, and the cops around him are trying to grab her.
Yeah.
It's bone-chilling. And we were saying, guys, you've got to say something to stop him. What did Maxine Waters and Kamala Harris and everybody else do?
Well, she was gone on her ayahuasca trip.
They encouraged it.
They encouraged it. They said, of course they're going to be in the streets.
Going to get louder.
Kamala Harris, she said, this is the new normal.
Yeah.
It's going to continue, and it should continue. And I think now they're just so complacent. They are so comfortable with the media carrying their water that Joe Biden doesn't realize that even the media is going to have to backtrack now and address the lie that he spouts on January 6th and saying that the rioters killed an officer, which we know is not true.
When President Putin was questioned today about human rights, he said the reason why he's cracking down on opposition leaders is because he doesn't want something like January 6th to happen in Russia. And he also said he doesn't want to see groups formed like Black Lives Matter. What's your response to that, please?
My response is kind of what I communicated, that I think that's a ridiculous comparison. It's one thing for literally criminals to break through cordon, go into the Capitol, kill a police officer, and be held unaccountable.
You are fake news.
It is for people objecting and marching on the Capitol and saying, you are not allowing me to speak freely. You are not allowing me to do A, B, C, or D. And so they're very different criteria.
Okay. This is something, if people were to want, if the left were to want a civil war, which God forbid ever happens in this country, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. What you do is tell Americans that what they are seeing, what they are experiencing, at least $2 billion in damages. It's been a year since they've upped the number, since they've updated it. Probably $4 billion when we're talking about the Black Lives Matter riots. Cities burning, dozens of deaths, hundreds of officer casualties, city halls, Walgreens, police precincts being burned, right in front of their eyes, people being shot in autonomous zones that were erected in a complete state of lawlessness, and you say all they were doing was saying that they weren't allowed to speak, as opposed to January 6th, and then you lie and say where someone killed an officer. If you want, this is sort of exactly, if you look at the playbook of people who want to create civil unrest, division within their country. They used to accuse Donald Trump of this.
Yeah.
What you do is tell people that exactly what they're seeing and experiencing isn't so. That's how civil wars start.
Yeah, well, and you're empowering a foreign dictator by saying there's a January 6th riot that happens, and 800 people, I think, max is what they're saying, got out of control out of 200,000.
400 is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, 400 are getting arrested. I think there's more coming from the FBI. But now Vladimir Putin just said, I watched CNN today. They said there was an insurrection. I don't want that here. And so that's why I have a guy in prison. And that's why I'm just... Is that not the story? That's the story of the entire conference for me.
Right.
He's justifying it because you guys are overplaying your hand and saying, oh, it was an insurrection. But burning down the damn courthouse in Seattle over and over and over again isn't.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
Well, the tactic is actually manipulation and abuse by making people think that what they see isn't actually there and what they remember isn't true.
Right.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe no one is covering that part of the story, saying, "Oh my gosh, they just used this again."
No,
maybe we should walk it back a little bit.
Here's another one we have. Is it Stacey Plaskett? How do we pronounce her name? It's one of those things I've only read.
Oh, plastic.
So again, I'm going through all this here. Why you should know that all of these things are verifiably false. Okay, you can check the sources at louderwithcrowder.com. Stacey Plaskett, I think it's Plaskett.
Something like that. It's close.
So Grizzly Bears outside Plaskett's candy store.
Sounds good.
So Plaskett claimed, this is what she was claiming, and this is what they're building as a narrative, that Donald Trump knew about the storming. And she said that is according to an article about an ex-White House insider.
An ex-White House and campaign insider, as you'll read, who has known both Scavino and the president for years, said there was no way that Scavino and the Trump social media operation would not have been aware of the plan circulating online to storm the Capitol. Because, and I quote, the Trump operation closely monitored the web's darkest corners, ranging from mainstream sites such as Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit, to fringe message boards like 4chan and XChan, now called XCun, to the Donald.win, an offshoot of a banned Reddit community dedicated to rabidly supporting all things Trump.
Now, if you don't know what you're watching, she goes, and I quote,
yeah,
that must be official. Who's she quoting? The article was entirely based on anonymous sources.
By the way, this person, this anonymous source, if that was not bad enough, you know what they just said? They must have known.
Right.
I have no evidence of them actually knowing. I didn't see them looking at this and go, yep, they saw it, they talked about it. I wasn't briefed on anything that actually happened, but they must know.
They must have known because of an anonymous article in Washington Post.
What the hell is that?
Which I quote.
How can you even print something like that? How can you, much less go back and refer to it and go, well, yeah, that sounds about right. How could you even print it in the first place?
And these are the people who want to silence all of our shows. Keep in mind, Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, CNN, Brian Stelter. They're saying you need to get rid of the spread of misinformation and fake news. Really? This is fake? Is this fake news? You presented these at the impeachment. Fake Twitter verifications, documents from people who were briefed on conversations when they weren't even there, and other documents sourced from anonymous sources, and you can't even pronounce it correctly. XChan, XCun. Oh, God. Then she went on to, but to be fair, to your point, I need to include all of her context because she went on to cite a Donald.win post with 12 comments as an example.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Of the underground scheme.
Movement, yes.
Is there a clip I? I think clip I, right? Yeah, clip I.
This is an example of a post that was captured from one of the sites dedicated to Donald Trump
12
that
comments.
we just talked about, shortly before the site was taken down.
Okay. We'll have more than 12 comments this very second that this is archived and we said the word of the day. Just for context. And you can't comment live because that's a liability, but once it's archived, you can comment. Here's the truth. The first and only time that image ever appeared on the internet? January 6th. January 6th.
No.
So I think they think that Donald Trump is clairvoyant, like Kamala Harris, you know, where she can travel back in time and listen to Tupac before he was a thing.
First black person.
First black person. They're holding him to that standard because he clearly would have known it was planned ahead of time. How? By this post that wasn't posted ahead of time with 12 comments. Look, it's Donald.win. That's the message board. It has his name in it. I rest my case.
There are more people in the Westboro Baptist Church than looked at that.
They have flippers for ears.
I know.
That's true.
Yeah, and this is something that I missed. Hats off to Lily and Sarah who helped us research this. So I didn't know that John Sullivan was the same person as Jayden X. And so this is one of the videos they presented from Jayden X. You can clearly see on CNN, this is what they presented as evidence. You can see his watermark in the video. See Jayden X right there? All right, there you go. Okay. Just wanted you to see Jayden X was there. Okay, so that's Jayden X. That's John Sullivan.
Yeah. I can see
after this,
why,
they're probably going to change it to Martin Luther Jayden X.
Yeah.
Little
Jayden X.
Red X. I mean, I don't know. Like, what is the nickname? It made it hard. I didn't connect the John Sullivan thing and Jayden X. Are you aware of this guy?
No, I never heard of him.
Well, okay.
But the whole X thing is...
You're about to.
Yeah.
You're about to. Jayden X is John Sullivan. This is the source they use. So better than anonymous. Better than non-existent. Better than banger of Chinese spies. But I would still say there might be some bias there because this is what John Sullivan / Jayden X is all about.
What's going on, everybody? My name's John Sullivan. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. My group is Insurgents USA. We got rip Trump out of that office right over there. Pull him out that shit. Nah, we ain't about waiting until the next election. We about to go get that mother.
Now, I don't think that that's a misinterpretation of someone saying we're bringing the cavalry.
No. That seems pretty
That sounds almost literal.
Sounds like a threat.
But congratulations on being the only black man in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that's good for you.
He's fighting a good fight.
Wanted to stand out.
But they're not even concerned. This guy is actually incited. This guy is actually, not just, I don't know if he incited because he may not have been successful, but called people to violence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's so bad that even Black Lives Matter disowned him, and you've got to be really
Oh, that's rough. That hurts.
Here's part of his Capitol footage that they didn't present. They didn't show you.
I never would have imagined that we would be here.
It's still like cleaning the hood a little bit.
Yeah, it's spicy a little bit.
I'll give you your hug now. We did it. You were right. We did it.
Dude, I was trying to tell you. I couldn't say much.
You were right.
You just have to watch my chat.
Oh my God.
Is this not going to be the best film you've ever made in your life?
That's it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Wait, you weren't recording, were you?
I'll delete that but I didn't record you or me. It's just worse.
Sorry to make you aware, sweetheart. He, in fact, did not delete that.
Nope, that is a lie.
To be fair, Mr. X doesn't know where the delete button is. This brings me to what I think is the most important point here. That hopefully you guys, if you're out there, we can clip this, get it up, because this is a timeline that I haven't heard anyone else talk about. And I know people will be upset because anytime you discuss the deaths at hand and you discuss the truth, people get mad and they say, why are you downplaying the death? That's not what I'm doing. And by the way, of course, we do support people in law enforcement who are doing their job well. And I do think that there are tragedies, and I do think that people who committed unwarranted violence, of course, deserve to be prosecuted. Have I set the context enough? Okay. Something else, too, if you look at the timeline of Donald Trump's speech, this is what they're trying to do. Speech is violence. Speech is inciting violence. Donald Trump saying, fight like hell or you won't have a country anymore, even though he said peacefully, and he said you need to leave. He was very clear, patriotically, peacefully. I understand Donald Trump shoots from the hip. He doesn't speak very articulately. But to argue that he actually encouraged people to commit any acts of violence is silly. I won't go along with you down that trail. No. I don't care if you demand that I say it or threaten to ban me. Fine. See you in court. Okay? He didn't incite violence. No. He didn't even come close to encouraging violence. That being said, if you look at the timeline, this is something else that we did the math. When his speech ended versus when the actual actions of violence occurred on the state capitol, Tokunawa, you were telling me, you have
Washington.
Yeah, so on the 6th, Donald Trump's speech ended at 1:10 p.m. Eastern, and then the rioting began at 1:11 p.m.
1:11 p.m.
1:11. So we found that that's 1.8 miles away.
It's 1.8 miles away. So assuming that Donald Trump even said, look, burn it down, the 5th of November, remember, assuming that he even said that, they would have had to run 1.8 miles.
1.8 miles in 1 minute, and the world record is like 3 minutes and 43 seconds.
For 1 mile.
Super fast, but for 1 mile.
For 1 mile. Yeah. And so, because the guy with the walrus mustache at Mythbusters isn't interested in doing his job anymore, we've decided to put it to the test and see if it is actually physically possible to make that happen. Of course, I hurt my knee, so we go now to the running of the interns. Okay, so Tokunawa, we have them waiting right now. We're going to be we're just going to start them. They're going to be running a 1 minute mile, a 1.8 minute mile, and they're running to the studio. Then we'll have them in the studio later on to see how long.
1.8 miles.
That's right.
The interns. Okay. All right, let's check in with them. Are you guys ready? There they go. Okay, I don't know if they can hear me right now. Oh, we got, okay.
On your marks. Get set.
Oh, well, that's a rough start.
That's like
Tokunawa has a twin.
Well, that's crazy.
No way.
So my question to you, question of the day before we move on here is, why do you think someone like AOC, because everyone will say, do you believe AOC? Do you not believe AOC? Right. Of course not. But why do you think she's so comfortable lying? Yeah. And it really does mirror sort of Joe Biden. You know, Joe Biden, like Donald Trump sometimes would be a bull, right? He would say things like, I am the best. The doctor said I am the healthiest ever. Like, okay, scale it back. Whereas Joe Biden will say that he is a doctor and he invented health.
Right.
And AOC just made all of this up with the shooting, and now she's doubling down on it and making up new facts that we will rebut today because they're also verifiably false. So hold on a second. Here's the thing. Was she evacuated because people were rushing the office? Is that what you're saying, AOC? I think we have an overlay here, another
Curious.
one. Yeah, overlay F. Let me give you a timeline to show you why her new claims are physically impossible. However, that has never stopped AOC in the past. 1:22 p.m., the Cannon building received an evacuation notice, okay, due to executing internal relocation due to police activity. This is a quote here. Then at 1:39 p.m., the D.C. police issued this alert. If you are in the Cannon building, take visitors, escape hoods, and go kits and report to the south tunnel connecting to the Longworth. Further information will be provided as it becomes available. At 1:44 p.m., Nancy Mace tweeted, just evacuated my office in Cannon, the Cannon building, which is where she was, which is where there were no other people. Okay, they were in the Longworth. Just evacuated my office in Cannon due to a nearby threat. Now we're seeing protesters assaulting the Capitol building. So before 1:44 p.m., Nancy found time to get settled, read her Twitter feed, and find a video to retweet. At 1:47 p.m., the D.C. police announced that the evacuation was all clear. Okay? She would have been completely evacuated and underground. Right? That's when she would have been underground when she's talking about this insurrection happening, where she was there hiding.
Okay.
There's no possible way. Look at the timeline here. She was gone. She'd already been evacuated at that point.
So she's still full of crap.
Are you guys following me?
I am following you, yeah.
No,
I'm surprised and shocked.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
She then said when she reached the Longworth building, this is a little, she could hear hinges cracking, the Trump mob yelling, trying to break in, and then when she saw Katie Porter, the Congressman Moo she asked if she could shelter with her, shelter together, and that was confirmed. Again, at the timeline. Is it coming?
We can like hear all of these rioters behind the glass of the door.
Oh wait, no, never mind. This is it. Yeah.
You know, and we have no specific location to go to. We're in the hallway. We're in like the Dunkin' Donuts of the basement, and so
she could not have been there
hallway
at this time.
Hear the yells of these
I just gave you the timeline.
Trying to break into the building that we're in. The hinges cracking.
Okay, yeah, here's the thing. That was, again, at 1:47, she would have already been evacuated according to her own words and according to the documents that we have. She could have heard no hinges cracking. This is what I'm talking about. It's not that she, look, if she were to say it was really scary and we were evacuated and it was a blur, she is making up verifiable lies. And we have a map, I think, too. This is something else that is pretty important. Oh, yeah, look at that. I'm a map.
Oh.
Shows exactly where the riots were taking place. Notice the rioters nowhere near AOC.
Not even close.
Reporter's location.
There's a street in between.
We even put a little. There's the mall. There's basically the equivalent to a park.
It's like a David Hogg situation, really.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a completely different building.
Then she pivoted, and now she's saying that the pipe bombs. She's like, well, actually, look, this is a manipulation. Keep that up so I can read it. They're manipulating the fact that most people don't know the layout of the complex. I just showed you the layout. We are all in the Capitol complex. The attack wasn't just on the dome. I don't know what you're talking about. The bombs Trump supporters planted surrounded our offices too. Okay, here's some factual inaccuracies. They haven't found the people who planted the bombs. We don't have any evidence. What we do have is 2 bombs. They did find 2 bombs, none of which were anywhere near AOC. Let me show you. I think we have another map. This is useful. 2 bombs, one outside the RNC headquarters. That's 2 minutes from AOC's office. Oh, we have an overlay. And then the other one was the DNC headquarters, 7 minutes.
By car
AOC's
or walking?
Office.
It's a fast bomb.
I don't know, and it depends if you use Google Maps or MapQuest, or God forbid, Apple Maps.
And nothing is close together, by the way, in these buildings. In Washington, these are massive buildings, so to go from one to the other across the mall is a long walk.
Look, she wasn't close to where any violence happened at the time that it happened, and no pipe bombs were anywhere near her. Everything she has said is a verifiable falsehood. I just don't know that I can say lie because she's so stupid. Do we have the interns? Are they still running? They're still on their way? Are they still? Okay, there we go. Running of the interns. They're here.
Oh.
We got them back. All right, what was the time finally? What was... They didn't make that.
No.
There's absolutely no way that they made that.
There's no way.
Did you? So, okay. You think it's possible?
That was much longer.
Hey, if you liked this video, click one of these other videos playing in a box, hit the notification bell, or just, hit the share button with your friends. If you didn't like it, do all of those things as well, or boycott our sponsors. I'd highly recommend it. Send your email to CrowderShop.com where this shirt is available, and Dave Landau's shirt.
Ooh.
Right? They should boycott Crowder Shop and send their email there.
They should. They should also, I will send them this exact shirt with my smell on it for an extra 10.
Also, we have a DNA scraper filled with dead skin cells from Dave Landau. The thing is, if you want to send your complaint and boycott letter at CrowderShop.com, you have to buy a shirt and then you put it in the return receipt.